I get it.
Setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And we are, excuse me, damn. And we are live once again, August 25th, 2019. This is Sunday night with those guys. What's up, Paul? What's up, Justin?
Hey, how you doing?
How are you guys? I hope you had a good week, Paul. Last time I spoke to you, we're going out flying.
Yeah, I've been flying every day, so I'm kind of spoiled being retired and living where there's lots to shoot, just like you guys are. But you're not retired yet, Lawrence.
Hey, what's up, Jay Santiago? Big Matt's been sitting here. He's back in New York. He was in South Carolina. As you see, Herman is not here. Herman is away at football camp.
Ah, he's got a ring to think about.
Brendan O'Connor, how are you? Herman is not here.
What's happening, Jones?
John's here.
Okay, you know what we're gonna have to do, because I'm turning my speakers all the way up, and we're having that issue. Paul, put your level back, and let's see if we can get Justin to get louder. Only because Mr. Crawley came in, and now he's louder than all of us.
Okay, how's it now? How's mine now?
You're good. Say something, Mr. Crawley.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. I'm just trying to get a level. Say something, Justin.
Hear me?
Yes, that's good. When you go like that, that's perfect, Justin. We're good. What's up, Jerry Freeman, Mr. Crawley, Justin?
What's happening?
And Paul, the Ed McMahon of every live stream on YouTube. He just doesn't realize it yet.
No.
And I didn't, before Paul got here, I was telling Justin, well, since Herman's not here, maybe we could talk a little FPV. So being that Paul is here, we will curve it a little bit.
No, you don't have to curve it. I can just sit here and take a nap.
No. No, we don't want you to fall asleep on us, bro. We don't want you to fall asleep. Have any of you guys been keeping up with drone news? Because there's an article on drone life. I'll put the link, but they're saying that no matter what you do or how it happens, the odds of someone being seriously injured by a drone falling from the sky or running to them is really, really a myth, and they're just buffing it up to make it seem like it's a bad thing, and if you get hit by a drone, you'll be killed. You know, which is kind of funny because the article actually says, Popular Mechanics did an article that was called "What Happens When a Drone Crashes into Your Face," and they didn't like the name of that. So this other place, this other company called FAA U.S. Center for Excellence in UAS Research, Assure, for it, they did some testing, and the numbers that I have here is they tested different various 512. They had 512 impact tests and simulations conducted on 16 different multi-rotor and fixed-wing USVs. Okay, ranging from 0.71 pounds to 13.2 pounds, which would emulate a Phantom series drone. And from what they found out, unless the props hit you, which 9 times out of 10 they probably won't, unless the props hit you, you'll probably be able to walk away with a few bruises and scratches very lightly.
Hey, Rick. Hey,
I
Brandon.
agree with that. You just be sore.
Hey, Val. Well,
Hey, hi, guys.
how are
Hey,
you?
Val.
I was
I
just
am fine. How are you, my darling?
I was just telling everyone, Val, about how they did this test. They had 512 tests of different drones, from the small ones you see in the store for like $30 and $40 all the way up to the Phantom series. And
Yep.
they had their crash test dummies, and they said if you don't get hit directly with the props, and the odds of you getting hit by the props are even higher than winning lotto, you probably just walk away with a few bumps and bruises.
1 second.
This is the link right here. You guys can read it a little more in detail. I didn't want to go into too much detail, but from now on, when I talk about some type of drone news, we here on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights with those guys are going to start doing a more fact checking, because we have come to find out that there is a certain circle outside of this circle that watches these and our live streams after we've recorded, and
Really?
they fact check.
Really?
Yes,
That's
yes,
nice of them.
yes, and I like it because imitation is often the best flattery that could be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the fact that they're, hey, what's up, Rodney Bell, Brendan O'Connor,
Rodney.
Rick Halber, everyone. The fact that I like it is because that means as much as that other circle, and you guys know who I'm talking about, as
Yeah.
much as that other circle can't stand any of us or anything that we're doing in the drone community, they're
Really?
giving us views, whether they
It
want to or not.
How do you know they're fact checking you?
How do I know they're fact checking? Because I went to a live stream, which I will not mention, and I sat in the background. I didn't go into the chat room. I sat back in a cut, and I heard somebody quoting some stuff that me and Herman had mentioned. And someone said, "Oh, no, that's not true. I heard these other a-holes talking about it on their live stream." I was like, but the guy says it is true because one of us put the link in, and that's how he confirmed what we said was true. So, ta-da! Keep doing what
Hey,
you're
Big
doing,
Matt.
Keep
Nice.
What's up, Big Matt? Glad you're back in New York. To make a long story short, everybody keep doing what they're doing. You're always being watched and observed, and you're under a microscope, and that's good because when people are looking at you that hard, that means you're doing something that piques their interest or hate,
Oh,
or hate. But what's going on? Anyone have anything good? I mean, I'm just gonna kind of ad lib. Herman's playing football camp. He will barely make it back to Wednesday nights with those guys, but if not, I'll sub for him until he does.
okay.
Or wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Look what I got.
What's that?
It's a solder mat.
Oh my goodness. She's gonna burn the house down.
Nice, Val.
You need a
I'm
bigger mat,
not.
Val. You need to
Where'd you
put
get
your
it?
whole house in that mat if you're gonna use a soldering gun.
I don't even have one of those. I gotta get one.
Where'd you get it now? Val.
From Amazon.
Awesome. Good for you.
Order it
Yeah,
now.
I'm pretty darn happy about it.
Michael McReynolds, how are you? Val, hello.
That way I don't
Well,
burn me down.
you know what, Val? The soldering mat would be very good. My problem is with a big old mat, I'd probably still burn half my table down.
Mm.
You know what I use? It's funny. I use this glass tray, and that my wife would use for cookies. A glass tray, and I solder on top of that, and it's just like whoop, just flick it little solder balls off.
Yeah, I was gonna get like what Justin has there, just a regular cutting mat.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
have
get that.
a really huge cutting mat, but I actually sew, so I want to have it still.
You guys don't want to know what I was using for a mat. I was actually using it as a cover to keep the top of my desk clean. But, foam board.
Yeah.
Well, I was using that to keep the top of my desk clean because I figured when the foam board got dirty, I could throw it out and get another one. Well, I tried doing some soldering and that didn't come out too well for the foam board.
So I bought the solder because I didn't have any.
Right.
Then my friend, whose boyfriend had passed away, she goes in and she finds all of this stuff. I have wire now. I have all this stuff, and then a whole nother thing with solder. The 60-40 that Ed was talking about, because I have 63-37.
Yeah.
I have the 60-40 too. And
Nice.
Okay,
really
so
nice.
that's supposed to be like the primo stuff you're supposed to use.
yeah.
Val, do you have a big container of flux?
I have a flux pen.
Yeah, that's all you need is a flex pen.
Really?
I have just
Those actually work?
Yeah, I use a flex pen all the time. It's actually easy. I put it on the tip of the things. And I just
Okay.
What do you use it for?
I use it for my solder boards when I'm soldering up my wires, motor wires, or ESCs, well, anything that I solder on the drone.
And
I
how
use
does this
flex
help?
pen.
They told me I needed one. I have no idea what this is for.
You always
tip,
solder
the tip
using
pushes
lots of
in.
flux.
When you unscrew it, Val, just don't rub your eyes after you touch it. But when you unscrew it, the tip pushes in, and all the solder, all the flux will come out. So you
Okay.
want to just shake it, put the tip on there, and then close it, and it'll do everything you need.
I've heard of the soldering pins. I had no idea that they work that simple.
Yeah, I remember the old days. You had the great big tin of.
You want to know what I got for
Exactly,
soldering?
Paul. It's a big tin, and it's just
Okay.
goop.
This little thing right here.
Yeah.
This is all I use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the tins used to come in.
So
Right.
I hate to
Used to
say
be.
this. I hate to say this, but this is Michael. I'm doing good, thank you. So all I know about this is I needed it. And I know that I can press it down, but what am I pressing it on?
Okay, anything that you want to solder, you want to use lots of flux.
Why?
It makes it adhere.
So I use it before I solder.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
It likes it. It
Thank
like
you,
it like
Sally.
preps the area to get you a better bond.
Okay.
It etches the material. It's actually flux as an acid. It etches the material.
Yeah, cleans it
Oh.
off, gets it prepped.
Okay. Okay.
Let's put it this way: without flux, solder.
Right.
Oh.
Basically,
The solder will roll off like it's got oil on it.
that's the chemical that bonds everything together.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And Curtis,
I'm gonna solder my if I'm gonna solder then my motors onto my ESC, then I use this to touch
Doing
it.
it on
Do I
both.
touch the wire too?
Yep.
with it?
Yeah,
Both
everything that you
Okay.
touch with that soldering gun gets a heavy dose of that flux.
Before I put the solder on.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
And it's easy. It's really easy.
You might liken it to if you ever painted something and they say use a primer. You're
Yeah,
putting the
pretty
primer
much.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense because I thought I got it, but I had no idea what to do with it.
Yeah, well, I did try many years ago. They were supposed to have this fluxless solder, but it was a waste.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah, I remember that.
And I have another question for you guys, if for those guys, if you don't mind answering. So you are on liftoff, correct?
Yes. So is Justin.
Justin, you're on liftoff.
Yes, he is.
So do you use your you use the Tarantus?
I use my Tyrannus. Yes, I do.
Okay.
The wire that plugs into the bottom of your Tyrannus.
Yeah.
Once you plug it into your PC and start up liftoff after you register and everything, it should recognize your controller once you plug it in, and it'll say Tyrannus. You just may have to calibrate it once or twice, and that's it.
I didn't see where I could calibrate it because I calibrated my Fly Sky, but now I'm on my Tarantus, and my little guy with the little propellers kept going floop, and finally got him in the air, and I thought we were on the wrong track, and I fell out of the sky again. Shut up!
Welcome to FPV.
Hurry! Attack!
Hey,
Where is he?
well, check this out, guys. You'll be interested to know that I plan on adding an FPV section to Sunday nights with those guys, but it'll be the second half of the live stream. But next week, we're going to start interviewing FPV flyers. And the first guy we're going to do is this guy, Gino Capio. Now, Justin knows him. He started last year at this time. Okay. Now he's a DJ. He has a full-time job, and he does DJing for weddings and stuff like this. But he's incorporated drones, and he's a 107 pilot. He's incorporated drones so much into his business in DJing, he doesn't do anything without it. There's a video that I have of him flying a Cinewhoop in a wedding hall while everyone's partying that you guys would love to see. And he also flew the place outside with his Obsidian DJI drone. So he combined both footage and oh my goodness.
That's excellent.
Brandon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's the direction that I plan on going into also with the camera drone and the Cinewhoops. You can combine footage,
Yeah.
you know.
So, and that's kind of where I'm veering into women who are doing FPV. So tonight I have Rad Girl again, and I have Catch You Later, and on Tuesday I have Stellar Fox coming out.
Okay. You need to start making a list and or you are on Facebook, Val, right?
Yeah.
You might want to start joining a few FPV groups too, because answers that we cannot answer, I'm sure you'll find the answer on there as well.
Yeah. So I've been into women.
What was that?
I don't want to know what you're saying, Curtis. Be good.
All right, Rodney Bell. Rodney said that he's taking a trip somewhere. He's got to go to bed early. He's traveling somewhere. So
Oh.
safe travels, Rodney Bell.
Bye,
I
Rodney.
sent him a link as well, and he told me perhaps in the future.
That's
Yeah.
You guys got something to talk about while I run to the refrigerator real quick?
Rodney. Be good, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have the chat pulled up. Sorry.
Justin's got something to show. Show and tell.
Well, last week we was talking about how they got the DJI FPV system, and people were wondering, could you get bigger, smaller, or bigger standoffs? Well, if you have a micro center around you, this is about $10, and if you look in the back here, they're all
Different
9-line
lengths.
standoffs,
Cool.
all different sizes.
I thought there had to be a way to extend them, you know?
There's a bigger kit than this. That's like $20, but this is just basic. This has about has about 5 different sizes. So that's another option for people that want to use that system.
Well, Justin, you might be interested in Val is having one of the ladies is going to be on her channel. She had the experience a couple days ago of flying with the new DJI goggles on FPV. And she was very impressed.
Well, that's the ongoing battle because everyone's fighting over digital or analog.
Yep.
Right. I think whatever works best for you.
Well,
Or
I
in your
heard,
price range. And, you know, if you've already got goggles, you got to sit there and say, well, do I spend more money or are these working good?
let me explain something. I heard a guy explain flying FPV compared to the new DJI goggles, and he says we have been flying FPV with almost a 1950 television.
Yeah.
Okay, and to switch to DJI and go strictly digital is good, but at what risk are you giving up? And what he meant by that is, right now, FPV Crossfire, I've seen Crossfire go 6 miles out, 5 miles out, 4 miles out, etc. I've seen R9 module that Justin's building for me do 2, 3, 4 miles. Okay, by getting the DJI digital goggles, will they also be limiting you to how far you can go?
Don't know. I don't know.
Let's see, this is the question. Because you would be buying proprietary stuff, all they got to do is put a switch on and say at 1.2 miles, video out. Or fail safe. Fail safe means it drops from the sky. If you got GPS, the fail safe will make it come back to you, whatever. But that's the point this guy is trying to bring up.
Go ahead, Justin.
Well, one of the guys from Rotor Riots actually tested it out. He was impressed by it, but like you said, he flew his regular setup. It was in a building and started breaking up. He couldn't see it. He lost it. He tried a DJI and he's like, man, this is impressive. I'm in the same area. I'm flying over there and doing this and doing that. Then he goes up the stairs and boom, fail-safe kicks in.
Yep.
But what was happening? What happened with that is somebody else kicked theirs on. Which
he was the only person there.
Oh, he was.
He was the only person flying, and he was going up a flight of stairs, basically just circling.
Yeah.
Once, came back down, then went again, and it fell safe, and it dropped on the stairs. So he had to go and like climb up the building and get the drone. That's from whatever I'm hearing everyone saying is that the fail safe with the DJI system is horrible.
Right, because
unless there's a way to turn it off.
Well, see, I doubt that too, because it's proprietary. Now, what the problem that's happening is their fail-safe has no redundancy factor built into it. Right now, our FPV drones, we can have it so that if it fails safe, it climbs up 200 or 300 feet and heads straight home with GPS.
But you wouldn't want to do that in a stairway.
Do that with our drones.
and you're losing when the DJI system, I guess, starts dropping bars. The frame rate drops. So you could be flying, and your drone could be turning, and you're still going straight because it's a lag in it.
Well, the question I have, you guys know more about this than I do. My question would be, Justin, when that guy was flying and he did the stairway thing and he lost in the fail safe and everything else.
Yeah.
If he was flying his regular setup and he lost signal, what would it do? I mean, you're in a stairway. It's not going to lose. It's way back down.
Hold on.
The snow screen on his goggles. On the goggles.
Right, but Paul, you got to think about this. It depends on what the pilot has set up, because some people fail-safe is set to drop from the sky. Some people's fail-safe is set to go into angle mode and hover. Some people's fail-safe is set for GPS to kick in and return home.
Right.
Okay, it depends on what the person has set up. Mine, because of where I fly, and I don't fly too far. The park I fly in is 360 something feet at its widest point, which is a little more than a football field, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is when I go into fail safe, it just goes poof into the ground.
Well, and I understand, Lawrence, people that like to fly extreme. And what I call extreme is I would never, ever in a million years, unless I was working for a government agency that didn't care, ever fly in a building and up a stairway.
Oh, I would love to. I do.
Well, that's when the Crossfire and the RM modules come into play.
Right.
I don't get it, but that's just me.
Okay, Paul.
All those concrete walls and metal.
Right.
It's the challenge.
What it is,
Challenge.
Crossfire and R9 modules bring your broadcast signal from 200, 300 megahertz to 900, which is slightly below the ham radio band.
Right.
Actually, 900 megahertz starts the ham radio band.
So
So most Crossfires and R9 modules are at 887 megahertz, because once you pass the 900 megahertz, you're supposed to have a ham radio license, and you're supposed to have a ham radio operator with you in order to fly that thing, because the signal from that radio can cause interference to other things around you. Okay, now
Like I can go to 800.
right.
That's the max on mine.
Right. See, and he doesn't have to worry about it. But the signal being that strong punches through concrete and or bends around metal. As opposed to this radio right here, I don't have an R9 unit, but I actually have the R9 unit to put in the back here. That would amplify that signal to that 800 and change megahertz frequency. This radio alone cannot do it. Now I can fly this, like I said, in a park, in a local park, in and around behind trees, because trees don't block signal that much. But after a while, right? Actually, wait a minute. Justin's got my that's your module. Wait a minute. If you got Justin, but that's the R9 module.
Justin, your buddy Lawrence thought you pickpocketed him.
No, I thought. Well, Justin's building my long distance bird now with the R9 module.
This is the antenna it comes with.
Wow.
Right. That's the antenna it comes with, but there's a Super 8 antenna. There's a Super 8 antenna that handles that frequency. This antenna is called.
Oh, yeah. But like a bow tie, they call it.
Right. So if you're flying, depending on how you're flying in orientation, decides how you twist the antenna. Usually I see people fly like this for distance. If you're just flying locally and you don't want any interference, this makes a difference, Paul, because with this, I can literally land on the ground behind a building or land on the roof of a building or land on a structure and take off. With this,
For
soon as you lose signal, it's going to fail safe and drop on the building.
But the
But
beauty of this
putting the module in back, like Justin says.
What's Justin?
But the beauty of this module is that you could even get more power in it because it has a TX30 connector in there. You could plug a LiPo into there to get even more power.
Oh, so it boosts.
Exactly. This battery here plugs into your module. Oh, sorry, wrong battery. This battery here plugs into this module, and it'll even amplify your signal even more. So it has its own power supply. It's not killing the power of your radio. Because to push 800 megahertz, you have to have the power to do it as well. Hey, EBR, FPV. But anyway, we'll get into it. We'll try and get into a lot of that stuff more and more in detail. I just need to find out when I'm going to and how I'm going to incorporate it into Sunday nights with those guys.
What's up, EBR?
But Val's gonna have a shitload of questions. I know. And we can get at some of these
I'm already teaching people FPV.
Oh boy.
like I said, if we can get some of these FPV people in here, like Val, if you notice, if you keep having FPV people on your channel, it will slowly turn to FPV and you won't be able to control it.
Look what's going on in the chat. Brian O'Connor said that DJI promised to have an update by the 24th to correct whatever errors are going on with the system. And today's the 25th.
What errors are going on out there? They lied. There were no updates and no fly zones that I found that were incorrect. They're still the same. I think I know what he's talking about. DJI, people here in the States have been complaining. Like out here where I live, they leveled the hospital. The hospital had a heliport. Okay, they're putting up new buildings where the hospital is. But that heliport, which is in dust and rubble now, is still documented as a heliport, an active heliport. And DJI has been promising their customers and been promising people for over a year now that they were going to update that database, and they haven't done it.
Well, my question would be, Lawrence, is do you think the FAA has updated the database? Because I know that across the country, there's a whole bunch of no longer in existent no-fly airports.
Well, if you want to know what, probably not, because everyone gets their no-fly zones and fly zones from the FAA. You understand? So if they don't update, how is the rest of the world going to update?
And would you want to take the responsibility, even if, let's say DJI knew in your situation that heliport and that hospital isn't there anymore, if they were to take it off of there, and the FAA could come back and say, hey, you are deviating from what our data is, and you could argue back and forth, but you're not going to lose to the FAA.
Well, Brendan O'Connor, I'm gonna make this statement first, and then I'll reply to what you just said. He says DJI fail-safe is total crap, but yet it's killing most of us out there near airports. Sunday nights with those guys does not necessarily honor or respect what I'm about to say. This is going off the record, and this is off the record coming strictly from me. But I'm going to tell you right now, Brendan O'Connor, a lot of your issues would stop if you'd stop updating the FlySafe database.
Yep.
Because I found out if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And what DJI is doing with that FlySafe database, every time you update it, it's telling you can't fly somewhere else.
Yep.
And Brendan O'Connor, if I'm correct, he's the guy, he lives here in New York, the guy from Long Island. He had first got his drone, if we're talking about the same person, and he lives near an airport, which is no longer active, and he cannot fly. And I suggested get in a car, drive 3 miles away from the airport, and he was able to fly. And I believe he's been trying to contact DJI and say, hey, look, this airport is inactive, or only active once a week or whatever, you know, can you remove this no-fly zone? DJI has no control to remove any no-fly zones here in the United States, and they could care less.
The other interesting thing would be to go to the FAA who actually has the site and find out what they say about that airport.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. But like I said, every time you update that Fly Safe database, and I'm not saying this is off the record. I'm not saying don't do it, because DJI says they will not honor your DJI Care if it's not updated. Baloney.
Yep.
Baloney. That's all I'm going to say.
So guys, let's make sure we hit that like button for Novice Boss, who is hosting those guys tonight. He really likes likes.
Oh, just hit the like button for those guys, because it's not just me. Those guys / gal.
Thank you for the usual person that puts the thumbs down. You're still helping us out. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Usually by the end of the stream, we usually have 2. On a good night, we may get 6, but usually the maximum is 2. So whether you put the thumbs down or not, I'm going to tell you, we still got counts from it.
Yep.
And when you go away and go check out other live streams, and you say, "Damn, they're still on. I wonder what they're talking about now." And you come back, that's another view. So keep it up.
Yep.
EBR says he just pulled the antenna off an XM Plus. That'll cost you an hour. You know what? After pulling an antenna off an XM Plus, I would probably put it under the 30-pound mallet. And just,
aren't those fun?
no, they're not. No, they're not, dude.
It's so frustrating.
Val, you're gonna find out that
It's so frustrating.
I have a VTX here open. Actually,
I think I have an
mistake.
And all it is a little antenna.
Be right back.
Yes, Val, if you can see this wire going into here, okay? This one is actually a plug-in, and it has shrink wrap around it. But what happens is, after a crash or 2, sometimes they loosen up. Sometimes you're rearranging, because the VTX, arranging it through the drone. Oh, there you go, crossfire antenna. You arrange it through the drone so that it sticks out the back in a certain way, and it may pull the wire. Oh my God, are you going to curse when you try to put that back on? Am I lying, Mr. Crawley?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm talking about the little ones. The 2 little ones that go in the XM receiver.
Yeah.
We're not. Those things are even worse.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I did it on this Cinewoop right here, this Signet. And what happened was I opened it up because the VTX is going. So I figured that they were loose, and they were. Now they're supposed to snap on, right? They're supposed to snap on with a little snap. And I pressed it down. I pressed them both down. I went to screw the top on, and they both just said bing, bing. And
so you put some hot glue on it.
Right. Now, this is what
I hear you, man.
A little dab of hot glue does wonders.
Get a glue gun, Val. A glue gun can be your friend with a racing drone.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the problems.
Hold on. What were you showing us? Oh, you see that plug in your hand right there, Val?
Yeah.
Hold on. That little plug?
I have this, which is, this is my VTX, my Luminaire.
Okay, now check this out. You see that plug right there in your hand, in your left hand?
Mm-hmm.
The gold. Now look at the tip of that plug in your left hand.
Right.
Break that down to a quarter size, and that's probably the size of an XM Plus antenna plug. So imagine a plug, a quarter the size of that, and that's what we're talking about. But anyway, they are a pain, XM Plus antennas, but I like them. You know why? They're 1, 2, 3 bind. You can buy them multiple XM Plus antennas now, and they're reliable. Now the RXSR, that particular antenna I had issues with, but I've come to like it like I like the XM Plus. In fact, for you FPV guys, what do you use? XM Plus receivers, or do you use crossfire?
Mine are all XM Plus.
Yeah, I'm coming to find out. I have an XM Plus in both of my Cinewhoops. I figure I'm not going to be flying that far, but my next Cinewhoop, I am going to put an R9 module receiver in it.
Whatever I'm going to do next is I'm going to do anything I can to make it go farther out. Anything that I can make go farther out.
Well, as far as I don't know, what's the distance on an XM Plus? I've never tested it.
I'm not positive either.
I have seen them go out as far. I have seen XM Pluses go out as far as a half a mile.
I'm thinking what?
Okay, but that's a half. What's that, Justin?
Probably like 2 football fields.
Okay, but that's now. Keep in mind that's out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your pink antenna, your purple antenna. Now, Val, since you're getting the FPV, what type of antenna is that?
That's a NIC.
No.
What's the name of it?
What? I got you, Adrian.
But
Yeah,
no,
it's a
again.
Either
Nitka,
it's an
something like
SMA or an RP SMA.
Yeah.
no, it's an SMA.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is because you have to be able to look at stuff and be able to tell what it is, or people.
Oh yeah. This is just the SMA,
Okay.
and it's the it has a MEL connector, right? So it should be able to go on to what I have going. So let me see. Yep, just SMA. Whoop, whoop.
Guys, I lost the Zoom.
You lost Zoom?
Yeah, I can't see you guys.
We can see you.
We can see you fine. And
It's
down
asking
on
me
the
to
lower right
sign
hand,
up.
down on the lower bar on the bottom of the screen, you don't see the white camera in the blue box
The white camera
on
and
the
the blue
bottom
bar.
of the screen somewhere.
No, it's asking me to sign up.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
That's weird. That it's
No,
asking.
actually,
Click the link.
it's easy to have it actually go.
Well, EBR, FPV. You'll be glad to
Oh,
know.
I got it. I think I got it now.
I mentioned it before you came into the live stream, but EBR at some time and point, I'm going to start doing FPV sections on the latter half of Sunday nights with those guys, and I'm starting it out by next week, interviewing a New York FPV flyer, Gino Capio, and then the reason that I want to do him, interview him first, is because I saw him progress from last year to this year. And last year he was flying in what we call Interference Park, which is Flushing Meadows Park, which has an airport less than 2 miles away, LaGuardia Airport. And he's going from there to Crossfire, of course, and he's ripping and tearing New York up, him and a group of guys. He entered me into this chat room on, have you guys heard of this app called, what is it? Discord?
Yeah.
Discord?
Yeah.
Well, he added me to the group on Discord, and he has a group there called Project Zen. Those guys talk FPV 24 hours a day. There's somebody. I have to turn the sound off of my phone at night because they're constantly sending messages and stuff like that. So Val, you might be interested in joining that at some time and point, because guys are asking any FPV question and people from around the world are helping out, just like they do here on YouTube. But make sure you keep that stuff in those cellophane bags until you're ready to use them.
Oh yeah.
And as much as you can, keep them dust free. Or mention more specifics in the near future. This is Islip, MacArthur Airport. Okay, you're out in Islip. Okay, that would explain a lot. But MacArthur Airport, hold on.
Look at Curtis that. That looks awesome.
Yeah, see, Curtis.
Where you going, Furball?
Tank, but he's actually using his submersible.
Yep, his underwater drone.
Hey, Furball, take it easy,
what I found,
man.
though.
Take it easy, Furball.
What did you find?
A chair.
An office chair somebody threw away.
Let me pin this video. You guys can see it better now?
Yeah.
A chair. It hasn't been there that long.
No, somebody threw it off the bridge. I found that today.
Bad day at work.
Is there anybody in it?
No, nobody's in it.
I was going to ask, is anyone tied to it?
That's my chair.
I think it's salvageable. What do you guys think?
I think so too. Sell it at a yard sale.
Dust it off, put some pledge on it, it'll be fine.
I'll wash it. It'll be good.
Yeah, it's not very deep. I could have walked out there and got it, but
So you're having a lot of fun with your submersible.
oh yeah, it's a blast. It's totally different. I mean, it's so in a lot of ways it's similar to flying a drone, but in other ways it's different. I've mentioned this before. It's kind of like flying in ADI mode when you're flying your DJI drone, because when you give it throttle and you come off the throttle and you want to stop, it doesn't just stop. It doesn't just sit there. It continues on a little bit. So if you're going down and you turn off the throttle, you're going to go down another 2 feet. If you're going straight ahead and, there's no waves or anything.
In other words, it's like the old X-Star premium from Autel. When you go to take your hand off the throttle, it cruises like a bus to a stop.
Well, it's like the old Phantom 3s when you or the Phantom 2s, in ADI mode when you aren't using GPS to hold it in a position.
Yeah.
So
What's up, Adrian? How are you?
That's probably the biggest thing, the biggest learning curve most people will have if they start playing with these things.
Well, the other thing that Curtis informed us, because that was the discussion that I had, was Curtis has been swimming around with the little fishies. And I said, what happens when you get to the big predatory fishies? And Curtis had a case where one of the guys he knows got confronted by an alligator.
Yeah, let me go grab that link real quick for you guys so you can.
The guy had a submersible.
Oh, hold on.
A submersible and ran into an alligator.
Yeah, let me grab the link real quick. Hang on one second.
Hey guys, I need to go for a bit. My family just showed up, one of my kids, so I'll be back. Okay, bye.
Okay,
What's up, Adrian, down in Antigua, and your wife beater T-shirt on? I'm so hating right now.
Wife beater T-shirt. That's funny.
Hi guys, what's up?
What's up, man? We started talking FPV, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, let me in. Open the door.
Yeah, because I hear you talking about long range.
Hey, but remember, I used to call you. Adrian has been next to Justin. Adrian has been my undercover go-to guy. Because he was at another part of the. He was at another part of the world at one time. I
just let the rest of the bag. You can't say it's on the cover.
So Adrian is like a secret agent man.
Yes, because he's my go-to guy. Because before he was back on this side of the hemisphere, he was somewhere else around the world. So I would get up 5 in the morning and be like, dude, it won't work. What do I do? And he would come back and give me some solutions and stuff. But
I heard you talking about long range, and that sparked my interest just now. Because there's a thing. Every time I hear people talk about long range, this is the question I ask. Are you comfortable losing your equipment?
Well, when
No, answer the question. Are you comfortable losing your drone?
No, I don't like that question.
Let me explain to you. Because doing long range is not if you're going to lose a drone or if you're going to lose a plane. It's when.
Right. And you did explain that to me.
Right.
I assure you, by putting an R9 module in my bird, I would be happy flying from one end of the park to the other. But now I know I can fly a little bit past that and land in the street and take off and come back.
Yeah, but
I probably will never, ever. I want the strength of the R9 to be able to stand in front of a bando and fly up and down the stairs like.
Yeah, but just as 2.4, the R9M can fail safe also.
Yep.
You need to realize that the frequency they're operating on usually be cell phone frequency also.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember some cell phone frequency and the radio, like the operates under 900 megahertz also.
Yeah. See. I will not let you deter me. I
No,
can,
I'm not. No, no, no,
I
no.
cannot hear you
Not-
right now. La la
No,
la la.
I know you can't hear. No, I'm just letting you know because just today I had this conversation with a friend of mine talking about long range. I said there's a lot behind of long range because first you got to make up your mind to lose the equipment because as I stated just now, it's not when, it's not if, it's when, because eventually you're going to lose one. Then you got to do a lot of planning because first you need to understand where your equipment is in relation to where you're standing.
True.
In case anything happen, you can always make the next step, as in the next correction measure. Then second and third, you got to fly with a plan. You got to plan the flight before you fly.
Oh,
You need
yeah.
to know you
I
always
do
fly
that.
out into the wind and
Use the wind to come back.
well,
I do not do like some guys here in New York that you personally know. Just put my drone on the ground. Just put my drone on the ground and go out 3 miles without looking around, checking for wires, cell phone towers, etc. I don't do that. Every
to be-
time I fly with my camera drone, if I don't go there the day before, I stand there while everyone's taking off and I plan my flight. I plan what scenes I want to shoot, etc. So trust me, with my racing drone, I will take your advice as strongly as I possibly can, but I'm still ignoring you.
no. I welcome you in the long range. I love it. That's the whole thing that got me into flying.
Well, you flew your bird long range. You're on disco, your V-wing.
Right.
Might as well call it your V-wing, and you've flown
Right.
a good distance, right?
Yeah, and I was on 2.4.
And were your butt cheeks squeezed the entire flight, or?
But the first time I took it out, I hit the dead patch, so the video went black. I was like, "Oh shots, what happened?" And then I do the next thing. I push throttle and pull up, trying to gain some altitude. Then I saw the twinkle, and I said, "Okay, it's still in the sky. Then it's not down on the ground."
Okay.
Right. So you gotta fly with a lot of mind preparation. What you do in case this happened, in case that happened. So that's why.
So if you lose it, you're not. All right, I lost it.
Yeah, Justin, tell him because if when you lose it, not if you lose it, when you lose it.
You hear that, Paul? You hear, Paul? Why? Hey, Big Mac. Why always a thumbs down, haters? We love you, haters. That's exactly it, Justin. Because
That's why I said that because I saw it. I was like,
yes, they have to take the energy to come into the stream, or not even. You can click from outside the stream and click a dislike, but it's still counted as a complete view.
Yeah, but
So,
the time you
that
take
really
to give a
doesn't
dislike, you still contributed. So why give the dislike?
Now, Adrian, have you ever lost a bird?
Yes.
Okay, Justin, have you ever lost a bird?
almost, but
Well,
no.
well, Justin, that doesn't count because Justin's flew away, landed in front of someone's building, and then got it back. We got it back about a month later. Mr. Crowley, have you ever lost a bird?
Yeah.
I've lost a bird. It's inevitable. It's like you can catch a flat tire at any time.
That is true.
But I will not let you scare me into putting
No, I won't. I'm just letting you know.
No, I take that. I will take everything into account, and I understand completely because you have the same thing when you fly a camera drone. There's a chance it may not come back.
That's a big chance.
A hawk could attack it. Anything could happen. They could get caught up in a balloon string. Anything like that can happen. So I'm willing to take that. What's up,
You
Timothy?
don't need to be playing.
What happened, Kurt?
I was going to say, if you can't pay, you don't need to be playing.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's true. That's right.
Exactly.
If you're not ready to get down and dirty in the mud, don't put on the shoes.
We all
Right.
say that, and then we cry when it happens.
Exactly.
I've never lost a drone. I've come close a few times, but you accept it. It's part of the risk of what you're doing. It's just part of it. It's not. I mean, if you're afraid of losing a drone, you don't need to be flying a drone.
Well, actually,
I
the
know.
first time I start to fly, I crashed and then get like, nah, you're not putting the next one up. And my cousin was like, hey, Mr. Crash, let's go. And then I get over it. So after I used that as a stepping stone, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. And they was like, damn, man, you got guts. I said, yeah, I passed the stage of losing it. So, hey,
Yeah, right. Once you've seen it, one dead body, you've seen them all.
Exactly.
Well, listen to this. When I first got my 3DR Solo, because their commercials was brilliant. It made me run to Best Buy to find one, even though it was like 2 years after it came out. And I live in Roselle, Queens, which is literally a quarter mile or less from the airport. I was in the park when I first got my drone. I was in a park at 400 feet flying this, not aware that a plane could have came in and knocked it out the sky, because the planes are probably over 100,
Right.
150 feet over when they're landing, going over the houses.
Yes. He used to live in a flight path. I remember you used to say you should come out there and fly.
And I was so scared to go fly straight or back forth or over. They had a little lake to go over. So I literally just went up 400 feet, took a couple of videos, wrote it, came back down. For like months. Then I got the day to one day I just got brave. I'm like, I'm gonna go over this lake. If it falls in the water, then whatever, it goes. And ever since then, I was good.
Well,
I know that.
all I know is
videos of me going up.
You have a very valid, Adrian, you do have a very valid point, and you do need to point this out every time you fly to someone who's just learning how, like Val's getting into FPV. You can almost guarantee that unless you get a lot of flight time on a simulator, either it's going to fly away or you're going to wreck it.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
It's something that people come to realize, well, maybe I should buy 3 receivers. Maybe I should buy an extra frame. Maybe I should get that box, that drone in a box crate that usually comes with 4 motors and stuff like that, you know. And you have a very, very valid point, but think about it. Every time I fly, there's always that risk.
Again, there's always that risk, but that's with a bird that's been through testing. Your long-range bird haven't been through the rigorous testing like the DJI. What? Not saying it can't fail, but you're in that stage of finding the spot where it will fail.
Dude, I will never, even with that R9 module that can go 3 to 4 miles.
Really?
Trust me, I will never ever go more than 3 or 4 blocks away from me.
Well, sorry, man. You need to get out of the hobby. The R9 is rated for 10. Yeah, the R9 is rated for 10 kilometers out of the box, straight out of the box.
Hey, Lawrence, I think you're being called out here.
And to be honest with you, that's my next goal.
To do what? R9?
No, I have the system already, and it's rated for 10.
But you have a V wing though.
Yes. Well, I'm building the next one, and I have the system put aside already, and it's rated for 10 kilometers out of the box, and that's my next goal because
what receiver?
The Mini, the R9 Mini.
The R9 Mini. That's exactly what Xavier. He must be talking about me. That's exactly what Justin's putting into my long distance.
Right. I have the same setup.
But to be honest, I just want to have that signal strength to know when I fly behind a building that's 3 houses deep, I'll still have 89% RSI signal.
Yeah, I'm trying to go 10 kilometers out, man.
Well, see, you can do that in the islands. No one is trying to shoot it down.
Well, okay. So you guys are talking about losing your drones. I got something to share for you.
Oh, and next thing before you say that,
did you find? Hold on a second, Adrian. Did you get that clip with the alligator in the submersible?
So yeah, I'm gonna post it in the chat so everybody can look at it. It's right at it's right around 1 minute and 55 seconds. To give you the background while you're watching this, this is a good friend of mine, Jason Preston. He's a medevac helicopter pilot for EMS, and he's also friends with the folks at Bass Pro Shops. So they fly him out to Florida every once in a while to do the national commercials for Bass Pro Shops. Okay. The big pontoon boats, you know, the big fishing boats where 10 people get on them. So he's out there filming, and he also has the Gladius Mini, the same one that I have, and they were interested in seeing if they could get some underwater shots. He's
messing with the gator because, you know what? the gator is looking above the water.
Yep.
Wait, just wait.
That's interesting.
So what happened was he had the gladius in the water, but he wasn't playing with it. He had his drone in the air, and somebody said, "Hey, there's a gator over there." So he handed his RC to another guy. He grabbed the gladius RC, and he started looking for the gator. He found it, and there's that log right there.
Yeah.
He went over to where the log was, but he had this there, and the director is standing behind him. He takes the RC with the iPad Pro, and he puts it to his shoulder to show the guy. Says, "Look, there's a gator over there."
Somebody hit the stick.
When he does that, he bumped that stick forward. That's why you see that little lurch go forward.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did.
And that's when the alligator saw it. So then the alligator turns and he goes for it, and the alligator was going to get it. The only thing that stopped it was that log.
Oh, I did see him come forward, his mouth open and stop.
Right. And as he backs up, you'll notice that the gator is stopped by the log.
Right.
So
right.
the gator wasn't sure what was going on. He felt somewhat threatened, but not completely, but enough that it was like, hey, get out of my space.
See, it's
talk about losing
obvious.
your drones.
It's more than obvious. He has disposable income.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. Once I heard gator, I'm wrapping my shit up. I'm doing it in.
but my point
Exactly.
being, you can't go out there and just, be worried about losing your stuff. If you're worried about losing your stuff, you shouldn't really be flying. It's going to happen at one point or another. GPS, whatever. Something is going to go wrong sometime, somewhere, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And this is the situation he had to deal with. He could have very well lost his Gladius Mini.
Well, Adrian, getting to the point of actually losing a bird, Justin, I think, was there, Herman, and maybe about 15 other guys. And I had my 3DR solo. We were in Calvert Vaux Park, where they're actually having a barbecue today, Adrian, an annual barbecue.
I know, man. I know. Don't remind me.
Everybody gets together, put the barbecue food, and
Don't remind me, man. Nah. I don't want to hear nothing. Nah. Don't remind me.
Okay, well, not last year, it's been, what is it, Justin, now? About 2 years, 3 years now?
Yeah.
When my solo went down? Okay, I'll say 2 to 3 years ago. I was coming back. Someone had actually, we were just winding up, and a few people were flying. And I'm the kind of person, I was an administrator in the group. I had resigned as administrator. But at the time, I didn't believe in flying until everyone who came to the meetup flew and had a good time. I always believed that the administrators should administrate with the noobs that come and hang out with the veterans, do what you're supposed to. And then the administrators can have a good time and fly. So that's what I was doing. And maybe a little less than a quarter mile out, someone had offered me something to eat, and I hit return home, and I saw my solo rise up to the altitude I had it set to and start coming back across the water. And while looking at it and eating, I saw 2 little puffs of smoke. The thing went like this upside down and went splash in the water, maybe feet from someone in water waist high. And we actually could see him visually take it out of the water and carry it over to the sand. And once it hit the water, I had said and decided I lost my drone. There's no need to get mad about it. To hell with it. And everyone's like, go get the drone, man. Go. I'm like, why? It's wasted by salt water. And then he said, but the GoPro, if the footage is good, that would make a classic video. And Herman wind up driving me. Now, even though we were a quarter mile away, Herman wind up driving me 1.5 miles, almost 2 miles around just to get to that point. Okay. But I wind up getting the drone back. 3D.
And my question to you is,
to their word. Hold on, 3D.
Where's the footage?
To their word and get the drone and send me another drone because it was under warranty. But the footage, everything was ruined.
Yeah, that's what we all say.
But
that's what we all say. Yeah, I've been. That's what we all say.
Hey, Lawrence, you gotta love Adrian.
No, he's
that's my boy, man. That's my boy, man.
He's good people, man. He's anyone that I could text at 5 a.m. New York time. hey, look, those guys are at the meetup, and Justin, look out your window. I don't know if you can look out your window because you're in the basement, but I'm looking at there's a mean storm cloud over Brooklyn. Now I live in the suburbs of Queens, but because it's low-lying area and I live in the basement, the weather comes in this direction straight towards me. And there's a large luminous gray cloud and the sun is shining above it rather brightly. So I wonder how they're doing it. The meetup should be finished though. It was at 1 p.m. You feed guys a few hamburgers. You figure about 2 or 3, they're ready to burp and go home. You know, but I do hope the NYC 5 borough had a good meetup, annual barbecue and meetup today. Justin and I were supposed to make a quick cameo and then go somewhere and fly, but to be honest, I was feeling lazy.
I was feeling.
Well, Lawrence, we're missing out on some great conversation going on in the chat. Have you been following what Brendan O'Connor's been saying?
He lives by Islip, by MacArthur Airport, and
it's close by me then.
He's been when he got his drone. He first contact somehow we got in touch with each other, and I was trying to give him tips on how to fly. He had just got a Mavic Pro, and he was like, "Dude, my drone won't take off." And I'm like, "Where do you live?" He says, "Near an airport." And I was like, "Well, how close are you to the airport?" And he's like really close. I can go up and see the runway type close if I could go up. But DJI has been promising. He's been calling DJI and he's been having an issue. Brandon, is the airport still open?
Excuse me.
At the time,
I was just about to ask the question.
Is it still open? Because I forget the status of the airport, but the point I was trying to make is in order to fly, he needs to get away from the airport.
Yeah.
DJI had told him, and I remember he contacted me. He said DJI had cleared that at no-fly zone so that the drone could fly, and it still was clear.
I think in the chat he said yes, it's open.
Yes, it is still open. But the point I'm making is he had contacted DJI, or supposedly, and they told him, okay, we'll send for you to fly your drone, which you know is a bunch of bull because he's still having those issues. He has to move. He has to go away from that airport in order to fly.
Are you trying to?
Whoa!
What's going on there, man? Damn.
I don't know, but
that sounds like a fight. That sounds like a bar fight.
Why don't you mute Mr. Crowley?
But hey, Lawrence,
Mr. Crowley just turned into a werewolf or something.
You can mute him, Lawrence.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's coming back.
Sorry, guys.
But Lawrence, this is funny. So the guy that I showed the Phantom to, he lived. I think he was within 3 miles of MacArthur Airport. When I tested him to show it that it worked, you were able to fly, but you were limited to that 200 feet bubble.
Well, to be honest, he's lucky he can get off the ground living so close, but he can go to the runway and fly at the airport. Now, what kind of sense does that make?
Is there an AMA field there?
Well, no. He says before Memorial Day, all was good. Well, I'm going to tell you, Brendan O'Connor, the summer season starts from Memorial Day until Labor Day, which is about to happen. That is considered the summer season. The point I'm making is you're not supposed to fly in state parks, but in the off season, I have seen and know of people who have flown in state parks because they're not patrolled and they're by themselves. You know,
I guess what I'm trying to understand, and just from an outsider point of view, why is it so important that you fly there? Is this a job that you're trying to do, or are you just are you a hobby guy trying to fly
he's
there?
a hobbyist. I think I don't remember if he's 107, but I think he just wants to be able to fly from his home.
Well, wasn't it May the 31st that the FAA instituted where you have to go and use that new system?
The Lance system, yeah.
The Lanc system?
Yes.
I don't think
So that would have canceled out any conversation he had because the tower is no longer any of that kind of stuff that you used to be able to just do. You can't do anymore. You have to go on your cell phone and access the Lanc system.
This solved my problem with the no-fly zone. Okay.
What happened?
I said this solved my problem with the no-fly zone.
Yep.
Dear Nafi. Dear Nafi. Yes.
So when I get into that problem, I just put the DJI and I'll take out this out.
He's saying that Timothy says that he's saying Lance would not give him access. Well, I do know during the time that he was trying to fly there, Lance wasn't even active.
But they opened up Lank in different areas. It didn't just go boom. It opened up.
Right, and people are still making their space flyable, or they're slowly adjusting it. I don't know who is the FAA or whatever, but AirMap shows a zero height around the field. It did give access at the end of the runway, which is strange. I don't understand that situation there.
Yeah, that sounds a bit tricky.
I think we're not getting the whole story here.
Yeah, something missing. Something is missing.
Yeah.
Right. Something's weird about that. Is there any way, Brendan O'Connell, can you know what? Hold on. It's Islip Airport. What is it? MacArthur Airport? I'm gonna look it up. You guys keep on talking. I'm gonna see if I can Google map it and see what the situation is there. You guys can talk about anything.
How we doing on the likes here?
Yeah, we need some more likes there.
Yeah, 18 people watching, only 15 people have liked it.
So that you guys know, Timothy is definitely well entrenched in the airport and airport systems. So
yes.
Come on.
And you know, I have to kind of question, why do you want to fly near an airport? I mean, there's a reason why it's a no-fly zone. There's a reason why there's these roadblocks in place. If you're a hobby guy, can't you go somewhere else and fly? I don't mean to be rude or anything, but my point being is,
I know. Is there another area?
This is an airport guy. I find it hard to believe that they allowed you to fly at the airport or near the end of a runway without it being tethered. But he says this is his point. He lives there. Well, I have the airport up on Google Maps. Give me a second. I'll try and share it. My only thing is, but big no fly. I'm with you. I actually asked him this as well, and I'm with you, Curtis. Why is it so imperative to fly there? I understand you want to be able to fly from your home, but looking at this map, why is it so imperative that
you may have been able to do it before, but the rules change.
This is the airport right here. I don't know how close you are, but I'm going to tell you, just by zooming out at the top of my head, you would have to be outside of this circle here where my mouse is going around in order to fly safely.
The airport is not closed. That's active.
It's an active airport. Why would you want to fly there?
Is it? No, in Long Island, MacArthur Airport is active. He did say it's active.
Right, but why would you want to fly there then?
Well, put it this way. If you're within a 2-mile radius of any airport, you should not even be able to take off. Because I live next to JFK International Airport, and I'm going to tell you, out from the 3-mile radius to the 5-mile radius, you can fly. Anything from 3 miles in, you can't even get off the ground. Okay.
Right, I'm living within about 2 miles, 2 or 3 miles from here. I feel.
And the point being too is even if he switched to a different kind of drone that didn't have that,
says it should be a blue zone, correct? Meaning a no fly zone. But I should be able to clear this. You cannot clear.
No.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Look at the lineup. You know what?
You have to see.
You know what? I'm gonna pull it up here on AirMap. That's the best way. Because AirMap, if you have an AirMap app, AirMaps will tell you.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. Why would you want to fly there? Not because you live in there.
Yeah.
You buy the drone knowing what happens, and you know the regulation with the drone. Why not go somewhere else to fly? That's like buying a Hummer and you don't have a garage. You got to build a garage, put it in. So
we need to figure out what kind of airspace is that airport in? It should be.
Well, from the look of that airport, it's not just like a grass runway.
Right.
because
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Airport is
Now,
like
check this out. I see what he's talking about on air map, but there is a radius circle. Hold on, let me pin my picture. There is a radius circle around the airport, but it's not blue. It's not blue like most
Hey,
airports.
Mr. Crowley, can you mute your mic? Because we're getting like a lot of noise in the background.
Hold on. Let me cut this light on and let me close this door because the glare from the sun is affecting. But from what I see here, wow, my chair just went down. This is the purple circle around MacArthur Airport. That's the airport in the middle there.
Hey, will you shut off the dryer, please?
Except for,
well, it's not
this little space right here.
Yeah.
All of that is technically a no-fly
And I
zone.
don't understand why that space is there. That's
That little square, right?
yeah. I don't get it.
It's not an active airport. It's not like a. It's like it's kind of like a commercial private airport. So if I didn't want to go to JFK and I wanted to get on a plane real quick, I would go to MacArthur.
Okay, I got you.
Only certain airlines that take off from there. So it's not constant air traffic coming out of there. So maybe that's why it has that purple.
It's purple, right? Blue, I've seen blue. Blue and red are total no fly. There is some, he says there is some commercial there. Southwest and Northeast is now clear. It used to be blue. I honestly could not answer that. And we had that issue, like I said, when I was trying to get him to drive away, because I was under the impression something was wrong with his drone. I did not know he was literally that close to the airport. Now, whether it's an active airport or part-time active airport, Lank, whatever you want to call it, is affecting how you fly. Hey, T-Town and Gambler. And if you have updated your FlySafe database to the latest one, that could also be why you're having issues.
Well, the other thing you should do is if he has a formal complaint, don't call DJI, call the FAA. They'll explain it.
No, Timothy just had the perfect answer. If Brendan O'Connor's he blocks away, he can fly. I don't understand the importance of that, but he could check the sectional chart, and that would give him his answer right there. The 107 pilot sectional chart, and I have one here, but
So it had to be specific for that airport.
yeah, I have one here. I'd have to, yeah, it has to be for that specific airport. Let me see. Hold on.
Sectional chart is the region.
Yeah, no, I'm checking now. I'm going to take a look and see. Now, keep in mind, I'm studying for my 107, so a lot of this is Chinese to me. But it's still Chinese, but I'm slowly learning it.
What?
So, and I could see. Hold on, he's out in Islip. Hold on, we'll find Sandy Point, East Hampton. If I could find the damn airport. Okay, I'm going to show you right now, guys, what I see here.
What's the color around the airport on the map?
This is kind of hard to. This is Long Island. You see all of these airports here? All of these airports?
Yep.
MacArthur's one of them. I'm just trying to find which one MacArthur is. But from what I see here, they all have their own limited no fly zones.
Yes.
Some are lower than others, some are higher than others, but East Islip, where the hell is East? Oh, MacArthur Airport, found it.
So it's controlled airspace on air map.
It
It
is.
says Long Island MacArthur Airport Class C airspace requires FAA authorization.
Class C. Yep.
Yeah,
You can't fly there.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no Lance.
There's the answer. And I had mentioned this to you before, Brendan O'Connor. You just have to fly away from your house. I know some people would love to get a picture of their house. Oh, thank you. You just saved me the trouble.
Oh, so see now. You see
Yeah,
that-
see, it's zero clearance, zero height all around.
But he says it lets him go to the end of the runway, which there may be a glitch or something. And
Yeah, what I don't get is on that map you're showing right now. You see that little box at the bottom? It doesn't have any numbers in it.
right.
Okay,
But
so
still-
when you applied for an unlock, that's DJI. That's not the FAA. We're talking about the FAA.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't control airspace.
Right.
FAA.
But like what Paul is talking about,
Well, here's the
little
interesting part down here. It doesn't matter what DJI says. This is what is important right here.
yeah, Class C, you're definitely not even supposed to be able
But
to
do you
go
see what I'm
around.
talking about? Can you move that
Right
map
below
up
your
just a
mouse.
little bit?
Move down, Curtis, down. That's
Down?
square space
Oh,
right,
right
there.
there.
That's cut out. Do you live in that area or close to that area, Brendan? Because I can't see the chat room now. But if I could see if you lived in that area, you may be crossing over back into the no-fly zone.
They're close to Heckshire Park. They're close to the golf course.
You understand? Right there, there's a circle that says, that green circle says 0, but it's also it's also says 400 at the lower quadrant of that circle.
It's an AMA field.
Okay, an AMA field. So at the bottom of the field,
You need to belong to that AMA club to fly there.
yeah. You have to join the Snooty Patootie Club.
Yeah.
So is that like pretty much helicopter traffic on the outer circle?
No, the yellow circle? No, that's the AMA airfield that he can fly by.
Not the yellow circle. You know how it's
Well, this also says airport, Bayport Aerodrome is what this circle is. The AMA field is
orange, in orange. I do not see on the map, but
Unless it's that. What's the red one off to the right in the 400 to the right?
to the right, yeah,
The
to the
first
right,
400
to the
is
2 o'clock position, to the 2 o'clock position of the circle.
of the circle. See it right
Yeah.
there? The red. There's
What
a
is
red box right there.
that is the Fire Island National Seashore.
So that's a no-fly zone for sure. National.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. You know what? That's brilliant to have air map on your computer too.
So now it says Long Island MacArthur Air. So when I click this right here in the 400 grid, it says Long Island MacArthur Airport Class C airspace requires FAA authorization. Automated authorization available at or below 400 feet. So
That's in that box. Yeah.
In that quadrant there.
right, this quadrant right here, you can get clearance.
Now the
What's
thing
the
is,
little yellow box below the right? Yeah,
that
right.
was the no flies also.
airport. It says airport.
That's an arrow. Is that an arrow drone?
That is. Make sure I have that selected. It's Bayport Aerodrome.
I don't understand what that is, but
That's like a.
those are, they don't want you moving there, flying there, period.
That's like one of those blow up stadiums that people play soccer or something in.
AMA field, it says, is orange, right?
Yeah,
Long Island.
yeah, they're orange. I only see 2 orange circles, one in Patchogue, which he just clicked on.
Well, this is interesting. First responder emergency start August 25th. That's today. So
And there's the other yellow one.
That's that right there. The power plant, MacArthur Waste.
So if he lives,
That.
well, right now I'm telling you,
all these are no-fly zones, by the way. They're no
now,
clearance,
can
none.
you guys see the chat room? Because where does he live, or what neighborhood does he probably lives in the 0 zone? In which case, he's even lucky to get off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that these planes are low flying planes because I'm assuming.
They are. There are a lot of little private planes that go into MacArthur.
Well, even not anything from JFK
Ooh.
going over the water is probably. They probably have to.
Look at all those little specialty things.
Yeah, there's 41 controlled airspace areas here.
Within that 5-mile radius.
Right.
That gotta be private planes and helicopters.
Those are private out on Long Island. The further out, like where he is, It's shortly between, actually shortly before him and further out to Suffolk towards the Hamptons and Martha's Vineyard.
People that got
They have
private.
so many little private airports and private helicopters, and a lot of those guys out on the island past him have their own little helipad on their property.
Yeah.
Well, even though there's 41 of these, he is able to go through the Lance system and get authorization to fly there at or below 400 feet on most of these that I'm looking at right here.
Only in that section that you're showing there.
Only in the 400 section, but if he's in any ones of those that are marked 0 airspace,
Yeah.
Nope.
you can call Lank all you want.
But he says he's got to, hold on, he's got to be within the 0 because he said he could go to the end of a runway. I'm looking at the map here that Curtis has up. So he's got to be within one of those 0 zones. The fact that he could go up in a runway may be a loophole or a void where he's allowed to go up.
Look at the end. You got the small circle, and on the bottom you got the other circle.
You got another circle over there by the 0 by the airport there. Do you see it? When you click on that, Curtis, what is
right
that?
Here?
That one and then the one to the left of it.
The one to the 11 o'clock there.
If you
Click on that.
it says, "Can you get authorization?" Or it says no. It just says Aerodome.
Controlled airspace.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just not updated like you said, because they shouldn't even have the number in there to call the airport because you're not supposed to call the airport.
Could be it wasn't updated. When I got my Mavic first, I'm living like maybe 3 miles from the airport. And then after I went out in the yard and started, it works. And then as soon as I did the update, as soon as I turned it there, boom, you're in a no-fly zone. But with that, you could activate it. The DJ activated.
If you look on the map, he could fly a Heckshire Park.
You know, it's not telling me what that is.
Well, he's out there by Holbrook. I played golf in Holbrook Country Club.
He's right up here in Holbrook.
I played golf at Holbrook Country Club. There's a golf course around there somewhere. I was invited to. So
That's
area.
If you look at the lower
definitely no fly.
So I get what he's saying. He's saying there's a glitch in the system, but there actually is not a glitch in the system other than DJI just won't let you fly. He's complaining about I think what he's trying to say, and Brendan, you can correct me if you want. You're not trying to fly there. You're just saying there's a glitch in the system. Is that what you're trying to point out?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to fly in that area. There's too much stuff going on in that circle.
You couldn't buy enough insurance to fly that close to an active airport.
Okay, so he's not trying to fly there. What he's trying to point out here to us is there is a glitch in DJI's system. I think we all know that.
Yeah, but it's not DJI. The only thing I say is it's not DJI system. DJI is implementing the FAA system and Lank and Air Map and everybody else.
It's actually Lance itself.
Yep.
Because since Lance has been activated, I have seen and heard of issues where someone can take off on one side of the street, and as soon as they cross the street, they can't take off. But they are.
Well, I mean, when you zoom in here, I mean, okay. So let's just say, so he lives up here. This is where he's.
No, I think two boxes to the left. 2 boxes to the left. Is Holbrook.
Two boxes to the left, not one.
Okay, Holbrook.
Right there.
So clearly, this is a 0 clearance here, 000. But if you live here, it's 400 feet. But you cross. I mean, if you lived right on this line and you cross that line, you're in 0.
Well, Curtis, I was just going to say that. Justin, remember when we were at Beach Night and you were testing out to Inspire? Yeah. Herman was looking at my drone, and was saying, "Why are you sliding to the left?" I pulled up air maps and come to find not air maps. I looked at the map on the DJI map, and it showed that the airport had shortly after we got there, made that area a runway path to take off. When we got there, it was not up. But as the weather changes, they say you can come in this way, you can come in that way.
Change the approach.
As my drone would go towards it, I would go straight and start sliding to the side like this.
Well, let's start taking a look at it.
But hold on, the point I'm making, I was actually sliding along the outside of the no-fly zone.
I think it's more of a mechanical thing. So let's follow up here and kind of analyze what he's saying. He's saying he filed correction. Yes, safety hazard. He says I can fly at the end of the runway. That seems to be incorrect. So I think what may be going on here, Brendan, is maybe you need to do a compass calibration. I don't think the drone kind of knows where it is.
An IMU,
could be
calibration.
IMU and compass, yeah.
Then a compass calibration.
Look in the area where he lives at. What is that big yellow box on the bottom?
The box in the bottom of Holbrook.
Down here?
Left, go left.
Go over there.
Right
Yes.
That right there.
That looks like it's a school. It says unknown. Yeah, that's a school.
I don't know what school that is.
Yeah, it says unknown. What the heck?
School of no fly.
That should be pretty simple to figure out. Any school should be listed.
But it kind of looks like a school because look at all that property. There's no school.
You want to know what?
The only thing I can think is that it's a
college.
It's like Bond College,
right. If it's a college or a junior college, I do know flying over a college or a junior college in New York State can get you into a lot of trouble.
It might be an aeronautics college.
Because of for rival football teams and stuff, they banned flying over colleges, period. I don't know any place else, but in New York, you cannot fly over a college. They can call the college police can actually come and detain you until the police come.
You know what's sad about that is because where I live, we have a high school and a junior high school with a huge piece of property between the two of them. It's all the fields, the baseball fields, the football fields, and all that stuff where they practice the track and all that. And on Sunday morning, there's nobody there. So I used to go out there all the time when I was going to, start trying out my Phantom 2 or whatever and practicing. But now it's like I can't even do that.
Well, I do know because some college was caught in the Midwest using a drone to catch football plays of a rival team. Somehow, word of it got to the higher ups here in New York. And in New York, you cannot fly a drone over any college.
Well, I want to address Brendan real quick. Brendan, we don't think you're a whack job. We're trying to analyze and figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that if you went back and you did the compass and IMU calibration, I think everything will kind of straighten up. I think the drone does not know where it is.
That's highly, highly possible because the fact that it can take off
at the end of a runway is just wrong.
The fact you're getting off the ground in a zero altitude says something's wrong there.
Yeah.
That I can agree with strongly. What do you say, Adrian? Down there rubbing your beard, man.
That's why I live in the islands. I have no problem like that.
I'm about to mute you.
Adrian says, come to the islands, man.
Come to the islands.
Come to the islands.
Exactly. You have no problem like that.
Adrian, which island are you at?
Antigua.
Okay.
And you know what's messed up? My 3DR Solo I sold is down in Barbados somewhere, flying around. Every now and then the guy sends me pictures. He sends pictures. I'm like, yeah, rub it in, why don't you?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to bring rules here now, but that's for government use.
Well, see, I think it would be a little harder down in the islands, considering everyone else marches by their own drum, depending on which island you're on.
That is so, but you need to realize if they say there's a 5-mile radius from the airport,
that would cover the whole island.
Exactly. You drop off the island the next side. So
what's the island at what's the island that the beach is right off the landing strip of the
where it shows the jets taking off and stuff.
St. Martin.
You could probably jump and touch
St. Martin. Yeah.
FAA doesn't want drones in that area, probably because of the aircraft depart, and it's a general aviation aircraft. They are flying low. Well,
you can tell
Timothy, you're 100% right, because literally the private planes and the small commercial planes that come in there over MacArthur Airport, they fly over local highway. And I can tell you, when you're in a car and you can read the writing on a Cessna, it's low. Okay. And the same thing out here in Far Rockaway, where I live, when the flight path is coming over for Rockaway, and Justin will tell you, when the flight path was flying over where he used to live, the plane is about 250 feet in the air, about to hit the runway.
No, you need to realize the plane is big, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know that plane.
So 500 feet
you
with
know
something
that-
at that size and 500 feet of drone will look totally different, right?
Hey, Adrian, have you been to one of those where it comes in over the water and they land and they go over the fence? People are standing there and it's like 10 or 15
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
feet.
I think a lady get injured from that because what they used to do, go at the back of the fence and hold on.
Blow
And
you
when the
up.
plane turn around and shuttle up, they would float like Superman. And then the plane blew her and she hit the rock, I think, and damaged her head.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a bit dangerous. And a lot of people don't know the danger of that because if the engine ingests anything and it spit that out, trust me, you're gone. That will be coming out so fast.
Yep.
Well, look, all I can say is honestly, whatever the issue is, yeah, I agree. Whatever the issue is, make that public chat, Dart, in on the panel.
Well, Brendan, you gave us something to talk about for a bit.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. It's 6:30, and we need to do a drop before Crowley goes out flying, and Ed McMahon decides to go catch a ship.
I'm
And,
tracking one.
yeah, I see you looking at the screen. If you notice, the screen, the television behind you, sometimes reveals what you're doing.
Well, actually, I can let you.
But getting back to the conversation,
Shooting ship is fun.
There it is, right there, Algoma Equinox.
you know what? I should. Well, they have a cruise ship tracker because
That's marine traffic.
guys here in New York always catch the cruise ships coming under the Verrazano
Yeah.
into the New York harbor. And they also tell you what time the freighters are pulling out. And maybe we should start doing that, Justin. My only problem is flying New York Harbor. When you're flying from Brooklyn area, Staten Island is across the water. And what happens is you have guys from Brooklyn flying a ship and trying to get around it. Then you have guys from Staten Island. Now, the guys in New York, some of them still use radios, or some of them are close enough to know where they are. But the guys in Staten Island have no clue that there's 2 or 3 other drones doing the same thing that you're about to do. And for that reason, I'm scared to fly ships in New York Harbor. But if it's...
You saw my video, Lawrence?
Huh?
You saw my last video with the parrot?
No.
I can share a link in the chat.
But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, put the link. That's not a problem.
Oh,
Timothy, I'd like to thank you for trying to help with that issue. Unfortunately, there are no other answers, but we need to do a those guys drop to get it out the way, get it out our system. And
Can I practice first? Those guys. Those guys.
Sunday night.
Those guys.
Those guys.
It's those guys.
Okay.
It's these girls.
Oh no. Only don't play that.
Between
Sunday
myself
night-
and Zeus.
Not these girls, those girls, not these girls.
Between
those
myself and Zeus, we're gonna Mr. Crowley and I are gonna blow out your subwoofers.
I have my woofer on
Those
2/3.
guys.
So I have my woofer on 2/3.
I could pull my microphone over closer. Those guys.
All right,
Not
all
quite,
right.
Paul. You're close, but not quite.
Those guys.
Hey, what's up, Nacho?
Those guys.
Anyway, Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
There you go with the bass in their voice. Wow,
Damn.
that's that baby please voice.
Uh,
You know, I'm gonna have to get a fan of Mike now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to get a big mic with on a stand right there in front of you, and
I used to have all that stuff. I have a 16-channel mixer. I have another 8-channel mixer. Back in the day when I was doing internet radio shows, it was the same format, chat room and webcams.
Yep.
And you could share videos. It's the same exact concept, except the computers back then, you needed to run the audio out into a mixer so you can use a mic and then run it back through the line in without creating an infinite loop.
Right.
And then they started making windows so that you could separate each jack and make it operate independently.
Damn, Lawrence, you sound like you've been around a long time ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he's going to start telling the story about when he first started. He had a megaphone and a candle he used to use.
Don't get me
guys.
Those guys.
Those guys.
What was the old what was the old
Herman?
Mel Brooks joke about these 15 commandments and he dropped one? I think Herman found
These
it.
10 commandments.
Yeah. These 10 commandments.
That's funny.
I brought you
Or Lawrence found the
11
one, not Herman.
I'm only
10
54,
commandments.
not as old as dirt. Not yet. My 15-year-old may think so, but I'm not as old as dirt
How do
yet.
I share a screen? I just want to show
How do
you.
you share a screen?
At the very bottom.
In the middle, you'll see a green box, and then a window will come up and it'll say full screen.
But what you have to do is have it already selected on your.
Yeah, see, now you see that right there? They
Yep.
come over our houses that low on the regular every 2 minutes.
Yeah, what's going on back there?
Wow,
Did you say every 2 minutes?
Sounds like a Chinese restaurant going.
Every 2 minutes. If you're Mr. Crawley, if you're in a flight
every
path,
2 minutes,
every
huh?
2 minutes like clockwork, they come
Wow.
in. That's how fast they come in, and that's how fast they take off every 2 minutes. In fact, they had to limit it to 2 minutes because one plane actually had crashed out here in Far Rockaway. Yeah, I don't know if I could find an article, but it had actually crashed out here in Far Rockaway because the jet wash from the prior plane before it was less than a minute. And the air that separates and all of that has to
It's
come
not jet
back
wash.
into
It's
that
not jet
space
wash.
before another
Yeah.
plane can take off.
Lawrence, it's not jet wash. It's wake
What?
turbulence.
Wake turbulence. Yep.
It's wake turbulence.
It's wake turbulence. Okay,
Not jet
I'm
wash.
sorry. I'm
Imagine-
Please, please.
Well,
I
don't.
think
you
they
know-
call it wake turbulence. Turbulence.
It kind of goes, Lawrence. Lawrence, it goes with that idea about the megaphone and the candle.
If you look at this,
keep on going, Paul. Keep poking the bear, Paul.
so everyone's looking at this picture, right? So imagine when the Concords were flying.
Yes, when the Concorde came in, which is bigger than that plane, the engines, put it this way, you see this plane right here? If you were to take two of the engines and put them together, that would make one of the Concorde's engines.
Wow.
So when the Concorde took off, even at low speed, and when it used to take off and they first started bringing the Concorde here to New York to land, people were complaining because the windows were shattering. It would hit full throttle and takeoff. So they stopped it from using full throttle and takeoff, and then it could not hit full throttle until it was out over the ocean, and then you would hear a boom of thunder once it broke the sound barrier heading towards the UK.
Timothy says try flying behind a A380. Or yeah,
No, thank you.
Uh,
No,
that would be one bumpy ride at the very least.
Oh yes, it would. It
Yeah.
would. But Justin, I'm glad you showed that picture. Because I some people may not believe. In fact,
Something natural.
this happened over 20 years ago, but where I grew up in the projects down away from here, the planes would come in over the projects, and from the roof of the building, you could see the writing by the hatches. And one guy that worked overnight was complaining, and he was a fool because he called the airport and said, if you don't stop sending these planes over my building, the next plane that comes over, I'm going to go up to the roof and shoot it down.
Oh boy.
Unbeknownst to
Okay.
him, after he made that threat, within a matter of 40 minutes, he was up on the roof and about to shoot, and the cops came up on the roof and arrested him. You can, and I mean, literally, he had a handgun thinking he could do damage to the plane, but the point is, that's how low they come over the projects. When something is making stuff in your house rumble, that's a problem.
Well, I used to live out in Lawton, Oklahoma, and they have the ground pounders out there, the Army howitzers, and when they start firing off those volleys, you'd have pictures and stuff fall off the walls or you'd have glass break. But all you had to do was contact the Army and say, hey, and send them a photo, and they would come out and repair it for you.
Yeah, yes.
It's just part of doing business out there.
Well, see, unfortunately, they out here in Far Rockaway, where those projects are, they didn't give a damn. But what they did do was they made the pilots not go to full throttle while taking off over our peninsula. Some planes you need full throttle to take off, but most of them you don't now. Okay, they rarely you ever see a plane
They use enough flaps.
unless it's a short runway. If it's a short runway, you have to go to throttle.
And it's weight. You got to the weight.
Timothy, I didn't know that. You used to live in Lawton, Oklahoma. I lived there for several. In fact, I was born there. I didn't live there for a long time, but I was born there.
But anyway.
I call it the sphincter muscle of the United States.
You must really love that place.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
Here's something you guys might want to pass around. Everyone has seen the video of the drone with the flamethrower on it, right? Everyone has seen that M200 with the flamethrower on it.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Well,
video like
FAA is retaliating against that video and says that weaponized drones are a bad idea. And the reason they're saying it's a bad idea, I'm trying to find the information to quote them exactly. But from what I understand is, if you are caught putting anything or attaching anything to a drone and are caught, it can go anywhere with penalties up to $25,000 per violation.
Those guys. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? No.
Yeah,
those guys.
Those guys.
Hold on a second, Mike. How are you?
Oh,
But getting back to what I was talking about, they're saying you are making a hobbyist toy or a hobbyist device dangerous. You're making it a dangerous weapon, and the FAA will not tolerate it. Now, I promised anytime that I found any information related, I would post it in the group so you could fact check yourself. But this link right here will tell you the results of what will happen to you if you are caught attaching a gun, bottle rockets, anything to your drone and using it as a weapon. They're saying up to $25,000. I don't know too many people that could afford a $25,000 fine, but I'm just saying don't do it. Plain and simple. What's up for your own life? Hey,
There's a good.
I'm sorry, I overslept, guys.
That's okay, man. And when you live the banker's life, that I understand. He lives the life of a banker. He gets up early in the morning. By 11 o'clock, most people are going to break. He's going home to eat breakfast and take a nap.
I don't get up at 11 in the morning. I'm just going to bed at 11 in the morning. Actually, I don't sleep at all, man. I'm up all night.
Oh, see.
And I catch my sunrises. I do my beautiful thing. Oh, we hear boats.
Oh, is that Paul on the radio?
Yeah, he's tracking. Somebody's tracking.
Yeah, he's been tracking that boat for a minute.
Well, I'll tell you my luck. Okay, just take a minute to tell you. I got up to take the old man walk to the bathroom because you don't hold your water like you used to. And I take the radio with me so that I can, because I'm waiting. I've been tracking this ship, or this one right here.
And you peed on the radio?
Call in. they call in and they tell you when they're going to get to the Black River, which then it's about 15 minutes to where I want to be.
Right.
So I go in there and all of a sudden I hear I've got things in my hand and I'm squirting water and the radio comes on and says, "Sorry, your radio traffic." And I hear her say, "Okay, that's fine. Equinox received and you have a check down at Sun Oil." Okay. What I was waiting to hear is he says like 30 minutes to the Black River, then they know he's coming through. Otherwise, he could be slowing down. All along here are places where they can fuel up.
Oh, okay. Before they go out.
Yes.
Oh, so you're basically on hold.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
That's what kind of day I'm having.
Says the stream stops, your prostate shuts down, and pole explodes.
That's it.
Let me share something real quick. So you can,
Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
so you can get an idea of how low these planes are. So
Yes, there we go. Yes. This is how low the planes take off and land above us.
Wow.
Yes.
so even in the video, you could probably pin out if they had numbers on the bottom of it.
Yes.
That's gotta be that's under 400 feet.
Yes.
No, that's higher than 400 feet.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Remember, the plane is big, so
that's
you will
about
see
3
it.
and change. It may be passing.
No.
and-
I would say 500 to 600 feet minimum.
I would guess
No,
3 and
it's
4.
not. That's more than 500 feet.
Justin, find something lower. Find something lower.
Well,
No, why I said it? No, why I said it? The gears are up, right?
No,
What?
but
The
honestly,
gears are up. You gotta
honestly,
have a positive rate of climb before you pull the gears up. And the speed that moving.
Oh, you
What
got
happened?
something there, Adrian.
Oh, here we go. All right, y'all ready for this?
all right, hold on. He has something.
would
Go
hike
ahead
the
and share
gears
that.
up.
All
But
right,
I
ready
do
for this?
know.
This is at night. Just to give you an idea, this is at night. So we're gonna play this from the beginning. This is my old neighborhood when I grew up as a kid. So watch this. Watch this plane come over.
Get done.
There we go. There we go.
That's coming into land,
Oh,
right?
come on, dude. That's
Yes.
you can hit your
Right, that's coming into land. That's expected.
But this is what we're saying. Where I live in Far Rockaway and where he lives on one part of Queens, we're both in a flight. It's hard to not be in a flight path of an airport.
I am glad I don't live there.
So imagine 3 o'clock in the morning and you're sleeping and you hear that plane come over your head.
Yeah.
God, dude.
But to be honest with you, I don't think that will wake me up.
Now you see why Justin moved.
You'll wake up.
No, when I sleep, I sleep.
But
I think
Heldon,
that's
houses
the
are
closest
really
I get to
cheap
death.
over there. You can get a house with dirt cheap over there.
Yeah, tell me about
And
it.
you can get death though for free.
So Mike, what's good, man? What's up? What's good?
Not much. Just been doing a lot of flying last week or so, but that's about it.
So did you untie Billy and let him go home finally?
Yay.
Yeah, Billy's finally home. You know, my boy finally left me. Yeah. He's going to be in Spin Up. Isn't Spin Up next month, guys?
Yeah.
So, no, he's probably getting all ready for Spin Up, and you know they're the stars. They take the stage. Him and Dobo and the Ken Herons and all them. You know they're the stars. That's why I'm not going unless they.
That's okay. We can have our own spin up at Roger Palooza next year. Roger Palooza 2020.
That's
or the 2020 Philly fly-in.
there.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, we're planning that now.
Listen, all I know is living out here in Rockaway, and it's strange because once you live near something loud, like you see in New York, you see the old videos of the train going past the building and the building.
I don't know how people live there, man. Damn.
After a while, I'd come to find out when you live in a place like that, when you have visitors, your visitors like, holy cow, what was that? And you're like, what? You know, you don't hear it anymore. You don't hear the planes.
Yeah, you
But
got
when
accustomed.
get visitors,
You
they're
got
always looking up.
Yeah.
Oh, how long before the ship?
I'm not sure if they get accustomed or they get in deaf. That's what.
That's a possibility too.
Could be they get in deaf.
Possibility. So, Mike,
Yes.
you're up now. You're up for the night, right?
Yeah, I'm up until probably tomorrow morning at about 10, 11
Quick
o'clock.
question. When the hell are you going to come over to this side of the hemisphere?
You know, that's a good point there, because I need to be making it back to New York. I got a couple of friends out there. I would love. How far are you from me?
From Herman's house in Brooklyn, it's about a 2.5 hour. How long is the ride, Justin?
I'm only about 2 hours from Brooklyn.
3 hours.
what is it? 2.5, 3 hours, right?
So I'm about. He's saying 3 hours from you, 2.5 to 3 hours from you.
Right.
I'm about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Brooklyn, from Philly.
Brooklyn. Okay. So and I'm an hour from Brooklyn, mass transit. So yeah, if I get on a train, it's an hour. If I take a car, I could be there in like 30, 40 minutes in Brooklyn.
And it
But
pays.
we should plan something by the end of the summer.
I would
A Philly come to New York meet us.
I would love to, man.
Well, and what you could do is, Michael, you could call your buddy Billy Kyle, and he could ride with you to New York.
That would be awesome. You know, he actually, I was just talking to him too. It's funny you say that because he asked me if I will take him to some other spaces in Philly, different spots.
You know he came up here to fly with us, right?
No, I didn't know he came to Brooklyn.
Well, you know Elliot.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Elliot was the one responsible for introducing us all to Billy. Elliot had choreographed it so that we would go fly with Billy Kyle last year. And that's when we met him by the Rocky Museum, Philadelphia Museum of Art.
I'm going to be there in a couple of days at the Rocky Museum. I'm doing a big live video there. All my supporters got to be there and come watch me run up the steps.
Wow.
Get out of here.
That's a movie star. Damn.
A couple, yeah. Look at Adrian. No, guys, it's funny. But all kidding aside, a couple of months ago, I couldn't even walk up the steps. So wow. I did a project that let me see what would happen if I worked out for 90 days and see if I can at 90 days run up the steps. So I still don't know if I could make it, but we're gonna find that out.
Nacho says count them in if it's before September. Well, you know what? You should make it a definite date, and let's see if we can come. Yes. We can get down there, but we're diversing from the subject.
I know. Coming to New York. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would love to come to New York. Before the winter, absolutely. Before like Christmas.
I would like to seriously choreograph that and make that happen.
But you see, now this is the downside of living in the island. I'm pissed, man.
I'll tell you what. Let's all go see Adrian. Now that's a freaking.
That sounds like fun.
Listen, let me tell you something. If I ever did get down to the islands, what makes you think I'd want to go back to New York?
I was just about to ask you. You wouldn't go back.
Yeah, I would go alone. I would not be.
You know, with the respiratory issues that I have, down there would be perfect. The humidity is lower than here in New York.
Yeah.
I would actually be out on a hot day and would be able to breathe. You saw it with like Mike. You remember when we were in Philly, right?
Dude, them guys.
That day looked like someone poured water on me, Herman, and Justin, correct? Well, at the same time, I was huffing and puffing for air, as if you noticed.
That's
you know, so we can plan a New York. We can plan a New York trip. That would be nice. That would be real nice.
I would love that, Lawrence.
I can get there by train.
Where are you, Mr. Crowley?
Mass, south of Boston.
Oh shit! Yeah, you could. Only thing is, Mr. Crowley, to stay safe, you'd have to leave that hat home.
Yeah, I know that. No, I'm with Miss Philly cap.
No, seriously, of the sports rivalries. Okay, I'm just telling you for your own good. I can see him now, Paul. I can see Mr. Crowley now. Yeah, I went to New York, and a bunch of New Yorkers yelled, "Go back to Boston!" You know,
they took my drone.
Well, the sad part is that he'd have to not say a word the entire time there. They'd figure it out by the accent.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What accent?
Right.
No. Yeah. First, all they would do to test you out, Mr. Crowley, they would say spaghetti. Spaghetti. Go ahead, say spaghetti.
Let me say spaghetti. I never heard of spaghetti. I know it was just caw.
Spaghetti.
It won't work, dude.
Spaghetti.
Or the first time he says, "Which way to the park?" It'd be over.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Park the car and having God.
Yeah.
You gotta park the car.
Park the car and having God.
If you decide to come, we'll work on it.
Wait, I didn't know
We'll have to get
spaghetti
one-
was
What
one.
you do is you just
Hold on,
have
Mike.
somebody act as his interpreter.
We'll have to get one of those Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I'll just do this.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there you go.
Yeah.
No, you just walk with a pen and a paper and you just write everything.
Yeah.
They read it in the accent. They can't say you said it. You read it in your accent.
No, I write the accent.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to try and put something together. It's August now. Well, he said, wait a minute. He says before September. That would have to be really quick.
No,
Next
before
week.
November, I said.
Before November.
November. So the end of September will be better for me, but
Let's try and plan. Let's try and plan something for the 3rd or last week of September, where you come up here to New York and we show you, hey, what's up, Mark? And we show you how we fly here. You would fit right in, man.
Oh, I would. Yeah. As long as you just give me
fact-
the layouts.
In fact, hold
I
on.
set my return to 40,000. I'm good.
This clip here, believe it or not,
That's awesome.
Mike,
Yes.
this clip I actually shot the other night, but I was testing out a night filter. This is from Brooklyn. That's the Manhattan Bridge, and the bridge in the background is the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And that tower right there, we call it the Manhattan Tower. Let's just say the top of it peaks out at about 782 feet.
Gotcha. Yeah, we got some of them big ones in Philly. I got one that peaked out at 970.
Hey, Lawrence, I have one question though. Do you
Yeah.
think the people on the other side of the river would be able to hear Michael yelling and screaming?
Dynamic range.
Dynamic range.
Dude, I'm gonna put a patent on that word because now it's getting spread around and I'm not getting paid for it. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm upset about that.
Hey, drone life. Hey, Mr. Crowley.
We're gonna talk
Yeah.
I pronounce it as Busketti.
Pusketti.
Yeah, it's Busketti.
Yeah.
It's all one word, Busketti.
Right.
Spaghetti.
Pusketti.
Spaghetti.
Just curse and say, give me some damn noodles.
You would hear Philly.
Give me some effing noodles.
Yeah, there you go. But all right, so we're going to try and plan something so that you guys can come, or we can have like a little meetup slash.
Yeah, let me talk to Billy. Let me talk to my boy Billy, and we'll be getting back to you.
I thought you were going to say, let me talk to my travel agent, my wife.
He's his agent.
Billy's going to be back.
Yeah, right. We got it. Well, wait till he gets back doing his thing from Spin Up, and then me and him we're gonna have to talk.
All right, that sounds cool. Is Val's life going on?
Yep, she should be on at 7.
Okay.
Oh, it's
all right.
the all girl channel now, so we're not
Girl
invited.
channel, so we're going to all lurk.
Yeah.
The first hour, we can lurk and make
Yes,
like
Big
comments.
Matt. That video was taken with the night filter, but it was my first time using it.
Dude.
In post edit, I just needed to bring the exposure up some.
Dude, the knife.
What happened, Philly?
It's sick. The knife filter's sick. You got to get one. Send your money to Phil.
No. You want to see something? Hold on.
Wait a minute, I haven't heard about this. What night filter are you talking about?
Dude,
I'm lost.
I have a Phantom 4 Pro, and I just got a night filter from Justin. And hold on, I'm going to show you. I'm going to try and pull
I'm
up some
sorry,
pictures.
man. Paul, I needed to order
Oh
that.
my goodness!
I got to get that. I'm the hell with Sharon.
All I can say honestly is this night filter
You're amazing.
makes the difference. Image,
Yes. That
image
purple.
slideshow. Okay, cancel.
Okay, who's got a link? We need to see this. Somebody post a link to
I'm
it.
gonna put
I
up-
got mine on Amazon from Freewell.
Yes, get the Freewell because it screws on.
Yeah.
Don't get anything else. Everything else slides over the cover. The Freewell screws on.
Yeah, but don't be spreading it, guys. This is.
Yes. If you guys really, where the hell did I find this?
I don't want to give our
Michael's into that photography secrets.
Yes, come on, guys. You know the race drones got their little thing. Us camera guys got to.
But Michael's open to Freewell. If you're listening, you could call him and make a deal.
I didn't
Hold
order it.
on. I'm going to load up some pictures with this night filter, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now,
They're amazing.
makes the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Just putting them up, I just have to make it fit the screen.
I was the first guy that flew with that filter too, so make sure everybody knows that. It was sent to me from a gift, as a gift. I didn't know what the hell it was, and it had like a purple. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I put it on, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what are your camera settings are amazing."
These are night photos.
Yeah,
These are with the night filter.
That's a night filter. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, I just started taking night photos. I don't even have it perfected yet.
Oh, dude.
Now, this was twilight. This was twilight. The sun was just down behind Manhattan into Jersey, but everything else after it is total night filter. So just to let you know, it's worth getting. And if you have a Phantom 4 Pro, get the Freewell because it screws on. The one Justin gave me slides over. I appreciate it and love it, and I'm gonna use the hell out of it until I do decide to get a Freewell. But this is basically what they look like.
What it does, guys, is it takes out. It's great for city folk. If you're living in an area where you don't have a lot of lights, a lot of pollution, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But for cities, what it's doing is it's taking out all the pollution in the air, all that fog, and it's making everything. It's just putting a beautiful, like, purplish, clean tint to everything. Crisp, and the whites are white, the reds are reds.
It's called a light pollution reduction camera lens filter.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. The freakberries taste like
and you know what I like about
I want to know blooper.
If you actually take the filter and shine it at a light. With most cameras, you see a haze around the light. This will actually turn it into a sunburst or put a star around the light. Get rid of that haze.
Yeah, it cleans it up.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Really sweet. So it's definitely worth the buy. When my drone was shot out of the sky, I had the filter on, and the freaking lady, when I went in, I can't get too mad at her because she allowed me into her house to capture my drone. But when I got the drone, I realized that the filter wasn't on the camera. So I banged on her door again. And can I go back in your yard and get my filter? And she wouldn't let me back in. And then good old Paul said, "Hey, Michael, just so that you know, the filter's probably in 1,000 pieces. So don't worry about it. Your camera's going, the filter's probably going too."
True, but that was actually my first time using that filter. And the fact that I did take a before and after picture just to see if I could see the difference. And like Mike says, it's day and night. If you're trying to shoot an amusement park at night, a skyscraper, or even a barn fire, looks completely different with that filter on, and phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Bonfire.
Drone Life says he would love to get some pictures or video from that viewpoint. Well, Drone Life RC, the third week in September or the last week in September, we're going to invite whoever the hell wants to come to New York. And if you want to fly, we're going to fly. All right.
Can't post
what's that, Kurt?
The link is 253 characters, so we can't post a link in there.
There you go. Yes, good. If you do want one, send $49.95 to Philly Drone Life. I'll send you $249.
Yes. So if you guys in the future, it's 7:02. We can jump over to Val's Life. But if you're interested in coming to New York to fly with those
spread the word. The more welcome.
With those guys, spread the word, and depending on how many people come, will dictate how that evening becomes.
Okay.
Meaning, if you want to fly during the day or come in the evening and fly at night,
you might have two different sessions.
They're two completely different times that we can fly. You either have to pick, three times: morning, the daytime, golden hour, or night.
Wow.
And anyone that has never been to New York, you've never seen a city lit up at night, trust me, you could get out there with a Polaroid and look like a superstar.
Oh yeah. I can't even imagine. I'm telling you, I don't think I'll be able to handle my emotion. Nighttime I may have to do that the second time because I would lose it at night.
Well, you can do that because we plan, me, Cool Bick, Herman, once he gets to the football camp. Within the next, he's getting out Wednesday.
Well, now we can't leave Adrian out of this though. We got to figure a way to get him out there.
Poor
I'm
Adrian.
just like, I can't hear
You know
nothing,
what?
man. I
You
can't
know
hear
what?
nothing.
You sit down there with your pina coladas now.
Yeah,
Who's
freaking
bad?
I'm gonna put Lawrence on timeout. Don't worry.
You got that. What you could do is you could join him on a live chat.
Yeah, I say the hell with New York. Let's do the pina colada.
Hold on, Mike. I wanted to point out before we get out of here. Later, Barry G, RC. I wanted to point out real quick before we get out of here, Mike. In about 2 or 3 weeks, we would like to come to Philly to do a night shoot, which means we would come down in the evening, get a hotel, go out and shoot all night, and then go home in the morning. So
I'll be up for that.
as I get plans for it, I'll let you know. We got to wait for Herman to get back. He's ready to go. Like I said, we get a hotel for the night. We go out and we burn a bunch of batteries for the night. Go out, get something to eat, and then we break out.
Dude, I am perfect. Like right around the second week in September would be perfect. Oh my God.
All right.
Like the 7th or 8th, the Saturday and Sunday, the 7th and 8th of September would be freaking ideal. If you did that, I'll stay up the whole weekend.
Well, see, my only issue is doing it on a Sunday. We wouldn't be able to broadcast.
No, go Friday. Friday night, stay there Friday and then Saturday, and then go home early Sunday.
I would call my boss and call out for that. I would do that.
Call the frig out. Screw the.
I would do it. Now, all right, we'll put that to work. Anyway, let's do one more drop and get out of here and shoot over to Val's wife and show her some support.
Okay.
Those girls.
Okay. Sunday nights with those, Mike, pay attention, Mike.
I was working on it.
Stop talking to Billy on the PA system.
Those girls.
Those girls, right?
Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
Yeah, I got the deep voice on. Those guys.
You'll be able to
I held my mic nice too, though.
Don't make love to it, Mike.
I made love.
Man,
to it.
that almost
Anyway,
looks sensual.
We'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us on Sunday nights with those guys. Herman is going to rush back for Wednesday night with those guys. He should make it by the skin of his teeth, but if he's not back, I will sub for him until he does get back in time. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. Go over to Val's Life and support her like you support us here.